Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Simpsons Hit and Run Gru Mod Part 1. This is a mod that someone made for the Simpsons Hit and Run, where it pretty much becomes a crossover of Simpsons and Despicable Me. It's a crossover we all needed, but no one really knew we really needed it. This is one of the most bizarre crossovers you could think of. Simpsons Hit and Run and Despicable Me. It should be called Despicable Me mod, since it's not just Gru in the game too. We also get to play as the minions, and we get interactive minions too. We get to drive around in Gru's large, heavy metal armored tank thing. It looks like that thing from Mystery Men that Ben Stiller had to pull apart with the crowbar. We get to drive around in that and terrorize Springfield. It's a really powerful car or whatever it is. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too powerful. It's way too big, and it's very powerful and whatnot, so it's really hard to play most of the game with this thing. So that's why we have to have debugging mode turned on, where if you press and hold the H key in the mod, or we have to have mods enabled, obviously, for this to work. This is obviously only on the PC version of Simpsons Hit and Run. Sorry, console fans, but this is only on PC. So if you press and hold the H key when debug mode is on, you can phase through all the walls, or phase through houses, and phase through things. Look at that, we just been driving for a few seconds, and Gru's already committed 20 felonies already. Yeah, you know, if anything's a felony these days. Cutting down a tree from Central Park's a felony. Jaywalking's a felony in some places. Throwing eggs at someone's house is a felony. Pretty much everything's a felony these days, to a point where calling something a felony is kind of meaningless nowadays. And Gru is like, you know, he's like way too powerful in this thing. Like, if he just hits police cars, the police can't even give him fines because he's too big. He's way too big for them, and he's just making so many coins, which coins are also kind of useless in this mod, as you'll probably see very soon. So we're gonna go do the first mission where that minion, I'm not sure his name. I know the minions do have names. I'm not sure what their individual names are. He's just gonna give us a mission to go to the Quickie Mart and buy some more ice cream, which is just a really sample tutorial, pretty much. It's a way to get you used to the game's physics, or get you to learn the game's physics and the logic behind this game. A lot of games do that. Even said on that newspaper that was thrown at the beginning of the game, the study says that 90% of video games begin with a simple tutorial level. And unfortunately, I probably played a lot of those 10% of games that didn't begin with a simple tutorial level or a tutorial mission. So we did the tutorial mission. You can see one of the minions, that one-eyed minion, the one-eyed monster minion, or whatever you call him, is working behind there at the Quickie Mart in place of Apu. So as you can see, this tank thing is way too big. It's way too large. We're not realistically going to beat this game with that tank thing. So we're going to have to find, and we're going to have to find, well, for right now we don't have any other cars right now, so we're going to have to hitchhike a ride right now from some random schmuck that's willing to give us a ride. Here we go, this schmuck is willing to give us a ride. One of the biggest challenges behind this version of the game, this is the reason why I'm doing a Let's Plays version, I think this version is very unique, because a lot of the cars that we know of from the regular vanilla game of this are completely absent in this version. You only begin with one car only. I think the person that modded this game intended us to only use that one Gru's car, but yeah, the game would be too painful if we did that. We'd be throwing over everywhere. It'd be a complete total glitch fest, and cars would be just getting destroyed left and right. I mean, we will be forced to use it at some points in this game, but just right now, that's a little too abysmal right now, so I'm just gonna steal a car. Well, this is the best we have right now, just to steal this van. Well, we didn't really steal, we hitchhiked it, so see, we're not actually driving, someone else is driving, some unnamed glup shito character, I guess you could call him, or something like that, is driving the car, and we're just simply riding next to him in this van, this mini van, or what kind of van? I'm not even sure what kind of van. I don't even know if it is a real van or anything like that in real life or whatnot. Well, right now we're obviously winning this race. These races are easy because they're the first races in the game, but they're going to get a lot more difficult as you progress. And part of the reason why I'm doing these races is because there are still some cars in the vanilla game that are still in this game, and all the cars that you win from doing the races in this game are still present in the game. And when we complete these races in level 1, we're going to be unlocking the Electress, which is a much better car than Gru's car, and it's a much better car than pretty much any other car we have access to right now out of all the level 1 cars. So yeah, the Electress is a good option. And I think it's I'm going to be playing most of this game with is the Electress. It's such a great, underrated car. And it's also kind of low-powered, too. I mean, it's still better than Homer Simpson's pink sedan. This isn't quite at par with that challenge that one guy on YouTube did, where he had to play for the whole game driving as the family sedan. Yeah, that's pretty painful. Imagine playing Ratchet and Clank, and the only weapon you're allowed to use is the shock cannon, or whatever your first weapon you get in the game is, without any upgrades. Yeah, that's going to be total pain. You can drive through the nuclear power plant. This used to really intrigue me as a kid, how you could just jump in the car like that, and you could just jump in the car and drive through the nuclear power plant. You could run stuff over. You could, and then go through the stonecutters. This place, it's like a whole building you could drive into. Seems like a pretty elaborate idea. A power plant you can just drive into like that. They should actually make buildings like that in real life. They supposedly do make buildings like that in real life. I never seen them before. Of course, I don't use the kind of logic that says that just because you've never seen something before doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I mean, a lot of people in my elementary school days used to go by that kind of logic too. People used to assume I made stuff up. Like that kid that assumed I made up Jumping Flash. I obviously didn't make up Jumping Flash, but he thought I made it up. And that seems to be a pretty, common topic where people think I made up stuff that I didn't. This is the next race of the game. This is just a circuit race. Now we did a checkpoint race first. Now we're doing a circuit race. We're going to have to be racing all these other cars again in a circuit. This is actually very easy too. You see Bart Simpson's in this race. You know we're not actually going to be seeing Bart Simpson later in the game, because most of the cars and other characters don't really exist in this version of the game. It's also impressive too. They actually got Steve Carell to do the voice acting for Gru in this game. You have to really give him props for that. Gru is voiced by Steve Carell. And they actually got that must have cost a lot to get Steve Carell to do voice acting. For something that's not even a real game itself. It's just a mod for a game. That's how elaborate these people were. And the minions don't have voice actors in this game here. They just say what their original counterparts were supposed to say, that the original dialogue there. This isn't even really much of it. I mean, it is a race, but it's mostly just going from point A to point B. But I guess it's the first level. As we established, 90% of video games begin with simple tutorial levels. If only the people at New Gradius knew that, because the first level of Gradius is pretty challenging. It's like they make you do the final exam before they actually do the course. Make you do the hardest part of the game before you actually do the rest of the game. We're on the last lap now, I think. You can see there's one of those, if you look to the side, you can see there was one of those WASP cameras. This isn't going to be 100% run the game, simply because it's actually kind of impossible to 100% complete this game, because in the last level of the game, we're going to get to a point where I'll be doing some of the bonus missions, and it's going to freeze the game or crash the game. Every time I did that, it always resulted in the game crashing, which I guess it makes sense, because this was obviously made by they're probably a hobbyist, or what they used to call basement programmers, or something like that, and they would have had to alter the coding for this game, obviously, to make it run the way it's running right now. They would have had to change the game's program coding. And sometimes when you change programming coding, it can result in some parts of the game breaking, which is probably what happened. I still think they did a really good job with this game. This is by far my favorite mod for Simpsons Hit and Run. There's a huge community of modders of this game. I remember it was like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I remember being impressed with how many mods people made for Simpsons Hit and Run. This game sadly never got any sequels, so we kind of did that ourselves, and instead of getting sequels, we just made our own mods for this game, giving new reasons to want to play this game, pumping new life in this game, putting a unique perspective to this game. I wanted to do a Let's Play this game for a long time, but why do a Let's Play of the regular vanilla game when you could do a Let's Play of this version, this different version? It's the same thing, but different. Now we're looking for the last race. There he is. There's Millhouse. Millhouse is going to be forced to give us the Electress at this point. Otherwise, we're just going to tell everyone that he peed his pants watching Harry Potter.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, go. Let's see. You can see the WASP camera there. You destroy that thing, get some coins. Coins are kind of useless too, because you don't get to buy stuff as much in this version of the game as we did in the real game, mostly because a lot of the cars and things we had to buy don't really exist in this version of the game, so those coins that we're collecting now, they're probably gonna be, probably never gonna lose those, unless we get pulled over or something, which that could happen in this game. People used to think you could get the police chasing after you by speeding or driving too fast, but I later proved that to be a myth. It actually doesn't increase that meter that makes the police come after you. All that does increase is when you commit real crimes, like running stuff over, destroying stuff, hitting people with your car, hitting other cars. You're destroying other cars, you're destroying the phone booths. There's also a rumor too, if you were driving a phone booth, it recovers some of your car's health, or makes your car get repaired a little bit, but that's also a myth too. I don't think that is your car's health or anything like that. But of course, video game myths aren't really an uncommon thing either. We were watching a video recently about video game myths where people believe that Sonic and Tails were secretly hidden in Super Smash Bros. Melee. or that there was some kind of weird Pokemon that existed in some of those Pokemon games. But I wouldn't know. I never really played much of the Pokemon games other than Pokemon Blue, I think it was. And even then, I didn't really get very far in those games. So now we have the Electress. All you have to do now is just go find a phone booth and find the Electress. So we're just gonna have to still use this crappy old van verbiage right here. I'm going to go over there and, yeah, so here. Cruise car, look, the Electress. The Electress is with us.
I am coming out there to get you.
You drive the good old Electress. Looks like a car from Gran Turismo 2. Remember the Electress first appeared in an episode of Simpsons that aired in the fall of 1999? And that's around the same time Gran Turismo 2 came out. I have no idea if there's probably not a real connection in that, but it just looks like a car that makes me think of Gran Turismo 2. This Electress, it's also quieter than most of the other cars in the game, simply because it runs on electricity, and electric-powered cars don't make a lot of noise. At least the Simpsons seem to love the idea of the Electress. It's better than a solar-powered car. You know, like also in Simpsons, they had a solar-powered car. I'm a solar-powered car! I don't go very fast. I think I already joked about that in one of my earlier videos. I don't remember when or where. I just have way too much stuff to look through. I remember seeing a solar-powered car in real life somewhere. That's the first thing I thought of. This is an electric-powered car. Cool, sleek, white, electric-powered car. It's actually probably the best car we get in the earlier levels of the game. Probably one of the best cars we'll get in this entire version of the game. Yeah, if you ever want to watch Gru driving around the Electress, well, here you go. Now I have to go to the tobacco field, I think, and run over those things in the tobacco field. The music in this game was really good too. The music composer of this game really did an awesome job composing the music to this game. Radical really made themselves a masterpiece. I remember Radical from way back in the day when they made Grid Runner. That was a really fun, underrated classic. Grid Runner. Many of you ever great games too. I was driving for the tobacco field, pretty much being a tractor. Like, it's increasing our police meter too. Like, police are gonna be onto us soon. I think we're good. I really dodged a bullet there. I have to drive back to Cleus's house. I'm gonna drive the safe way right now, I'm gonna try not to hit anyone. But passing this person's thing is definitely legal, but yet it doesn't increase our meter there. I'm just gonna keep driving through these. I think it's really cool they made like a huge map like this where everything is, you know, there's a residential area and there's some more country area and then there's the and then what else there? Then there's the power plant. It's really impressive. And they actually originally wanted to make the game one map apparently too, but the computers just couldn't handle that back then, or game systems couldn't handle that back then. This concludes part 1 of this Let's Play. This is Ray Phoenix signing out.